This is Jim Howard, Executive Director of Trinity Security Allies. I'm coming out here to talk a little bit about Bill Jenkins, a guy that I met over a year ago that works for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Now, Bill and I have had multiple conversations, and we're always talking about the future of our next generation. Fellowship of Christian Athlete has been around for a while. I remember when I was in high school, a long, long time ago. But it's really refreshing to hear the stories that Bill tells, how athletes are helping our youth get to know Jesus Christ. And so in a couple of seconds here, I'm going to do an interview. Bill's going to be at our 8th annual Church Safety and Liability Conference. That's going to be on October the 26th at All Saints Episcopal Church in Lakeland, Florida. I want you to listen to what Bill has to say. I look forward to seeing you at the conference. Be safe, be blessed, and I'll talk to you soon. Hello, my name is Jim Howard. I'm the Executive Director of Trinity Security Allies. And of course, we have our 8th annual Church and Safety Liability Conference coming up on October the 26th. And I had the opportunity to be speaking to one of the guest speakers that we have coming. And there's also something special with him because he's providing lunch. So we really need to be nice to him. So this is Bill Jenkins. He is with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And this is an organization that's been around for a while, because I remember it when I went to high school. Of course, we used chisels and stone to write our essays and things like that. But I do remember it and have wondered where it went, because I kind of hadn't heard about it for a while. And so it was really exciting to hear that it is still existing and some of the things that you've told me about it. But I want you to kind of do me a favor and tell our audience a little bit about what the Fellowship of Christian Athletes is about.
Sure. Well, FCA has been around for over 70 years, and how FCA started back in the day when professional athletes were advertising for cigarettes and for liquor and for other things that the world wants to be advertised for.
Right.
A couple of gentlemen got together and thought, if these athletes are so influential and they're able to get folks to buy their products, maybe we can get them to buy Jesus. And I know that's kind of a borderlines blasphemy to put it that way, but that was the concept behind it. These athletes have such pull. People look up to athletes as they do today. Some of the role models, unfortunately, are some of those athletes out there. And so over 70 years ago, it started. Branch Rickey, who was a baseball manager, started with Don McClellan, and FCA was born. And ever since then, athletes have been bringing the gospel to all those within earshot. And FCA's goal is to reach every coach and athlete into a growing relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. We understand that coaches are very, very influential. They're influential for the good, and unfortunately for coaches that aren't believers and it's just win at all costs, they can also be influential in the wrong ways. Billy Graham once said that a coach will influence more people in one season than most people will in their entire lives. And he was very true. So, it's our goal to first and foremost reach the coaches, a ministry to coaches, so that we can train up those coaches that are believers with the ability to share their faith to their athletes, which is, that stretches out to parents and to classmates and to really anybody that has contact with athletes in middle schools and high schools and colleges.
Right.
So that's FCA. Well,
it's really something that is so needed. When the Olympics started, of course, they had the big thing against the Lord's Supper. It really, in fact, so many people turned it off at that moment in time. I was one of those. And I happened to be out on YouTube because I like field and track of the Olympics. I always loved watching the runners and stuff like that. But what amazed me was the amount of athletes that once they were finished would give the glory to God and not themselves or their coaches or things like that. They thanked their coaches and stuff like that, but the first thing they said was, I want to give it all to God because he's the reason why I'm here. And of course, YouTube, YouVersion had where they were athletes that were on daily talking about the, going through the trials and tribulations they go through. So Christ is the answer. You and I both know that, and we talk about it all the time. Christ is the answer. But until we get an opportunity to talk to the young people of the world, and it's like you said, coaches have a big, big influence on them. But you have told me so many different stories of like, just that warms your heart of situations where you've been involved in it. And so I'm really looking forward to your talk because we have to get our youth. So give me just a little bit of what the Lord has laid on your heart to talk about at our conference.
Well, as you mentioned, and we've talked about a lot, there's a battle, there's a race, if you will, and the fastest runner is going to be the one that wins. And are we as believers running faster than the enemy? Because there's a finish line, there's a goal, and we're both running full steam ahead. And as you know, as I've shared with you, what's going on in our public school system and private schools and Christian schools, the enemy is alive and well, and he has blinded the eyes, and he has convinced folks that what's black is white and white is black and up is down, and it's amazing. And we shouldn't be surprised because the word tells us that the enemy will blind the eyes, and that the prince of the power of the air is alive and well, and especially in the schools because of the young impressionable minds that exist in our school system. So that's kind of where my passion is I'm looking at your shield and your sword, and it's a battle, and I'm bringing battle as full as I can into the school system, understanding that what I'm dealing with is the young believers that either are young believers or they're not believers and they think they are. Right. So I have to be very strategic with the way that I interact with them. But at the end of the day, it is all about bringing the 100% truth into a very, very dark place. It's like the Mutual of Omaha Wild Kingdom, the opening scene where you have the gazelle that's kind of wounded or young, and he's off to the side of the herd, and you see the lion creeping through the high grass. Well, that's what the enemy is doing in our school system. It's trying to find that kid that maybe is disenfranchised, maybe is being told that any lifestyle that he wants to live is okay because it's what he wants, as long as he's not hurting anybody.
Right.
That kid's looking for some sort of inclusion in something, and the enemy is going after those kids hard and heavy. And so that's what we need to do. We have the truth, and we need to bring it, and we need to bring it full strength. And so, I'll be talking a little bit about what's going on in our school system. Most of the folks that are going to be there probably wouldn't recognize the inside of a high school today. I know when I first started with FCA, and even before that, when I started coaching again, and I went into a public high school, it was just shock. I'm looking around thinking, how are they allowed to dress like this?
Right.
What is that? What's going on over here? It was just, it's another world. And that was 20 years ago. And now you got kids walking around in cat suits and litter boxes in bathrooms, and I could go on and on and on, but it's ridiculous in the educational system, and the opposite of the conservative right has told the kids that as long as you're doing what you feel is right for you. Well, I think that's what the devil said in Genesis,
right?
What looks right in your own eyes. And he's running that play. He's still running that play, and he's doing well. So it is a battle. We do need the shield and the sword, just like your Trinity Security Allies logo is. It is a battle.
It is that, and we need strong men like you that are leading the charge to protect the kids that are out there. Like I said, I've had multiple conversations with you on events that you've been involved in, and how you just showed Christ's love, and that would change a person's mind or change a person's heart. And so I'm super excited about having you come and speak. I think it's necessary right now because we are at a turning point. Which way, we're several days away from an election that's going to change this country one way or the other. And as Christians, we need to be prepared on both sides. It doesn't matter who wins. we know that God knows. We know that God knows. He's not going to wake up the day after the election and go, "What? Who won?" He knows, but we need to be prepared for whatever comes our way. So I'm super excited about having you, Bill. I'm looking forward to it, and I pray that you touch the hearts of the men and women that will be there to understand that the importance of your ministry, the ministry that you're in right now, is something that we cannot live with and we have to have. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I hope some folks leave there uncomfortable.
Yeah, true. I understand. I
If you're
understand.
sitting in church and you're not squirming after a good sermon, then something's wrong,
Yeah,
or you need
something
to find
wrong.
a new church.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am super excited about being with you, a brother warrior. Like you said, we've shared plenty of stories, and you and I both know how important it is.
Yeah.
As you know, in your book, which is right there. Reading it again.
Yeah. So this October 26th, All Saints Episcopal Church in Lakeland, Florida. Go to TrinitySecurityAllies.com to get more information and to sign up, because of the important people that we have speaking, like Bill right here, is going to be talking about a war that's being waged against our young people and how we need more men like him and everybody that's at this conference to stand up for the children of our world. Bill, thank you very much for coming out, and I look forward to seeing you. God bless and be safe.